Is Tom Aspinall's career really over? Before I get into that though, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe because it really does help the channel out. So is Tom Aspinall's career really over? Well, that's what the UFC fanbase are saying, and if you've been online for longer than 5 minutes, you'll know the UFC fanbase has the attention span of a goldfish and the IQ of a f***ing brick. In their minds, your career is finished if you lose a round, if you get a minor injury, or you lose a close fight. It's all so pathetic and they're just complete wet wipes, and all of this started at UFC 321. This was meant to be a huge moment for Tom, his first proper defense as heavyweight champion. Big stage, big crowd, and Ciryl Gane right across the cage. Everyone was excited. I was excited. The heavyweight division was finally moving forward again after Dana White and John Jones left it rotting, and then it all got flushed down the toilet because Ciryl Gane stuck his fingers in Tom's eyes, not once but multiple times, and the fight ended in a no contest. And straight away you had people going, Tom quit, or Tom got exposed. Exposed by what? By someone going knuckle deep into his eye socket. What are we even fucking talking about? It's such a brain dead take. If you can't see, you can't see. That's kind of important for a fight, and I find it funny how half the crowd and half the fan base turned on the guy who got fouled instead of the bloke doing the fouling. People ran with this idea that Tom faked the injury because he didn't want to keep fighting, because apparently in their heads Tom Aspinall, who's trained his entire life, became heavyweight champion, headlined a massive card, thought, no, I'm too scared, I'll pretend I'm blind. There's no logic to it. You've got to be genuinely stupid if you think that. And the funniest part is they're acting like Tom was getting battered. He certainly wasn't. Stat-wise, it was close. Tom landed 27 significant strikes and Gane landed 30. That's not a beatdown. That's a tight round where one or two moments could swing it either way. The only thing Tom didn't have going for him was a busted nose, and who gives a crap, right? People act like a bit of blood means you're losing a fight. If you actually watch combat sports, you know a busted nose means nothing. And if you actually watch the fight, you could see that Tom was starting to time his entries. He was looking for that takedown, and against a rangy kickboxer like Gane, those entries are everything. And if Tom gets a clean takedown early, the entire fight changes. And do you know why he didn't get it? Why he didn't get that takedown? Because as Tom came in, Gane poked him in the eye, and that wasn't even the eye poke that ended the fight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every eye poke is intentional, because MMA is messy. Hands come up, people panic, stuff happens, right? But a foul is a foul. You don't get to say in tennis, for example, I accidentally hit the net, can we just carry on? It doesn't work that way. So why do we treat it that way in MMA? If you fouled, you need to lose a point. And it's not like this is anything new with Gane either. Eye pokes, low blows, shots to the back of the head, call it accidental all you want, the result is still the same. He's a dirty, cheating French bastard, and even if it's not deliberate, it still changes the momentum of the fight. But once the fight was ruled as a no contest, you think it would have all ended there, but the aftermath was much worse. Tom ends up needing eye surgery. This wasn't just a, oh, my eye hurts. This was a serious eye injury, and while Tom was dealing with all of that, you've got these mouth breathing idiots online saying he was shopping around for a doctor who'll perform the surgery, like he's trying to find someone to write him a sick note. Are you thick? Do you genuinely think that? Who gets eye surgery on a whim? Who risks their eyesight just to win an argument with some twats in the comments? Eye surgery is dangerous. Even minor eye surgery is a massive deal. If something goes wrong, you're blind. That's why it took time. You usually wait, you let things stabilize, you see if the eye can resolve itself naturally, and it didn't, so it went under the knife. These people have such an inflated opinion of themselves. They genuinely believe Tom cares enough about them that he'd fake an injury, tank his own career, slice up his own eye just to prove a point. Honestly, get over yourselves. Tom's not doing eye surgery to win Twitter. He's doing it to get his life back on track and support his family. Now, because it's the UFC and because the heavyweight division can never just be normal for 5 minutes. We also get the reports that the UFC asked Tom to vacate the belt, and apparently he agreed, but only if they released him. And when you start to backtrack where all this came from, this source comes back to one person, Rubin Carter, a guy who makes things up for engagement, and fair play to him, it works because people fall for it every single time. Then it gets repeated, then some bigger pages pick it up, and then suddenly everyone's sourcing each other, and it just turns into this fake news echo. Rubin Carter is a serial liar, right? And if you believe anything he says, you're thick as pig shit. But in reality, it's made up nonsense. Peter Carroll has already confirmed that there's no truth to this whatsoever, and no one has contacted Tom or his team about vacating the belt. So back to the question, is Tom Aspinall's career over? No, not even close. The idea his career is done because he couldn't continue after being effectively blinded is ridiculous. Assuming the surgery has gone well, he could be back to training within 4 to 6 weeks, and once he's back in fight shape, we'll hopefully get a fight on this year. And if he does return this year, I'm definitely backing Tom on his return. He's one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Big, fast, KO power, and his grappling is a problem for anyone. So in a rematch, I don't think he's going to mess around with Gane. He's coming out, sprinting as fast as he can, and he's going to spear Gane and choke him out as quickly as possible. And I can't wait to see that cheating Frenchman tap. So no, Tom's career isn't over, but I tell you what is over, my respect for the UFC fan base, because once again they've proven they're idiots. They'll blame the victim, ignore the foul, and then they'll act like they're experts online, and you just look like a twat. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you think Tom Aspinall will be back soon, or do you think this surgery derails him long term? Thank you everyone for watching. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help the channel out.